So this one I'm just going to give you a quick spin. I'm going to do the same thing, cut it back to buds. I'm not actually probably going to do much wiring with this. This has already got quite a nice shape actually. It's got a lovely S-curve. The wiring scars are starting to really disappear. This spent some time in a growing bed, to be honest. It was substantially smaller, but there's loads and loads of shoots that have come up from this one. And this is an example of one where I'll just be cutting right back probably. I'm going to make some decisions on a few branches. And the front's still not entirely, I mean I'm thinking the front is somewhere in there, which would make sense, which means that branch here has to go. Yeah, if the front's sort of there, if that one's gone. But yeah, I think next year, because I know when I take that away I want to put that in as a cutting. Mind you, I might try another deadwood cutting, I don't know. So yeah, so this is quite a nice one. Then we've also got this one, which is again the more ugly style. It's spent a lot of time growing out some of its scars and regrowing, but it's still very, very unusual. This root structure sort of coming in like this, so that's why the rock's there. I've got to highlight this and make this more of a feature. That needs to be probably neatened up a lot more, and then decide where the actual tree is going to go from there. But you know, it's a really interesting tree. It's got lots of potential now. Classic things here, two branches coming from the same point. So decision there, even here, whether I want that, but I like having this here because that's assisting to that. I'm going to do some more work here. I'm trying to sort of decide what I want from here and also from here. But these each year it's grown on better, so I'm not sure what we'll do with that. Okay, so I've put a bit of wire on this, some wire down here. I'm afraid the front is in here, looking up here. So what I've got to decide is between these two, where's the apex actually going to be? I like it coming back this way, which means I need to probably take the height down on this one. But let's just have a little look here. There's going to be buds here and here, so I'm quite happy to take that off. Coming on this, we've actually got a little bud in the crotch there, so we're going to get rid of that. Also a little bud down here, get rid of that. So I'm going to just go around and continue to neaten up those that I don't want. I probably don't want that anywhere near as high. I've got lots of little bud points here. I'm not sure which ones will come out, but I've got one there, so I'm going to take that off. Neaten up a stub there. There's also a little bud here, and if I'm looking at the front there, I'd rather not have that one coming towards me. I'd rather have this one here activating. Or I could actually decide that I don't want any of that straight bit there, and that can be the new growth, which is obviously working towards taper. And I think that is actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that off. Looking at the front again, just take the terminal off on that one. I'm going to look at what we're going to do here. At the moment, this is coming straight towards us, if that's the front. That can be wired around. Well, I'm just going to take it right back and see what happens. I want these two to cover over, so there's actually bud there, and also I've got something coming from here, so I've got three at this point. I actually quite like the one that's down here, and probably the one to the front. I may try and grow stuff in there, which means I'm going to take this back one off. Okay, so, and then we're just looking up to here. Just take the terminal off for now. The reality is I don't want there, what I actually want is there. So if we're looking at the way that is, we do really need to bring that down, unless unless I continue to grow this out up this way, which is, you know, it's definitely possible. In fact, that may well be the way I'll actually go, and let that be one pad light there and then develop something a bit higher here. So I'll just continue to do exactly as I've done here and neaten that up and come back to you. Okay, so gosh, the sun's gone up. So I've also wired that out a bit and done a little bit of chopping. So we'll just have a look again. The front's here, looking into it. I've just twisted that a little bit around and then just cut it off a bit. So that's your new front. Yeah, I really like that. I really like that. Must just love the rock. And in fact, the trouble is, that's actually beautiful rock from Stromso, but that's really nice for getting roots into that. But yes, I'll give this a really clean up. I want to make these roots healthy. Can't remember. I need to check my database to see when this was repotted. But just need to clean up some of these scars. But I'm not going to do that now. So anyway, so that's the second of the Tridents. Anyway, as I say, I've got another 10 or 11 of these, all different sorts of shapes and all roughly the same sort of sizes, all fairly coarse, but a few of them are already developing nicely. This one down the front here, this one, again, this was a branch cutting. I think I took this off 3 years ago, straight into soil. Did it? I think I did it in the sort of May, June time. Really growing on nicely. So they do root really well from cuttings, which is why I sometimes find myself holding off, and then I forget to do the cutting in the May, June time. So the same folds and branches still remains on there when I get to this point. But no, as with the maples, I'm now just going to go around and slowly do exactly the same thing that I've done to the other two. Hopefully, it hasn't been too boring. And hopefully next year there'll be an awful lot more stuff about Trident Maple when they're all in leaf and growing well. I'm really looking at what I've got there. I'm actually really happy that I haven't actually done very much with them this year, because the shoots and buds that are coming out from some of them bodes well for the future. So from Xavier in the middle terrace, cracking over to the early afternoon, I'm thinking of calling it quits, because my little fingers, my little phalanges are getting just a wee bit cold. I don't think we're going to have anything more Trident related. I know I took some summer cuttings and they're squirreled away. I think they're still in the greenhouse. So I made some silly challenge to Yelly that I was going to we were going to do it at the same time. And I think I see an email from him. I've got a funny feeling he's gonna have responded to that. So can you all pray for me and hope that he hasn't, because I fear that I may well be looked to be a mug. And just to finish off, I thought I'd give you just a quick skim through of the rest of the maples that I did in the last few episodes. Obviously there were so many you didn't get to see them all, but there's just a couple down here. There's that quite large one there I gave a wiring up. There's one there which is going to be a sort of semi-cascade. Definitely you've seen this one. That's been in a repot video and everything, so that's featured a lot this year. And then if we just go along to the edge, I know you've got the Tridents in the way, but all around there, all the Japanese maples have all been either wired up or pruned. This one, I know it's normally over the corner. This one's been wired. You can't see it properly, I know, I'll do my best. But interesting. I have no idea what I'm really doing with it. Just wiring out some branches, and we'll see how it looks. It's probably difficult to see amongst everything else. Just through here, there's another sort of semi-cascadey type thing I'm trying to do. That just sort of came about organically by the way the branches grew. And the ones that are normally on this part of the display benches, just been all taken back. And there's a chance that with with a few of these I'm actually going to put them into pots. For those of you who've been interested in the oak that I did the repotting back in, oh gosh, was that March? Don't know. Just to give you a close up, I did absolutely nothing to it this year apart from that repot. Got some good branch structure there, and the main thing is it produced enough leaves that it's definitely demonstrated that it survived the repot, and it did get quite a heavy root prune, so I'm really happy with that, and we're doing some work on that next year. Okay, so what we've got here is 4 Japanese maples. Since I don't even know whether I think you've seen this one before. It's been wired up. In fact, what we'll do is we'll close up on them, but I'm going to show you the wound healing that I'm trying this year. Okay, so we've zoomed in on this one, and I think what you need to see the pecs. I think you need to see the pecs, but I think more so because you want the white background. So I'll straighten myself up. Look at that, isn't that wonderful? Okay, so in fact, let's go for a full white screen, wide load. No, that won't work. Okay, so, lovely, isn't it? Yellow, eat your heart out. This is fashion. This is real fashion. These are guns as well. Anyway, what am I talking about? I look good without a head looking at that. Anyway, so what we're talking about is on these maples. I'm not sure whether 1 or 2 of them are Katsuras actually. They could be, but either way, they were bargain specials from Morrison's and garden centres back in 2015. What we're looking at is here, really ugly cut sites. Another example, if you look here, and you know, it's where there's been lots of cuts, great big heavy callousing, really ugly. You see it again on this one, in this point here, all very ugly. And what I decided to do this year is I'm actually trying to a new technique, and it's part of what I've seen online. What else would you see it? And it's just slowly using a blade and just scraping back to expose the cambium, and then reapplying some putty over the top. And the whole idea is that slowly what I want to do is reduce the visible swelling and try and smooth these off. Now I don't know how well it works. You know, they are smooth barks, and once you put the damage on them, they can be pretty difficult to overcome. But yeah, so this is what I've been doing. I've gone right round, and where I've got really horrible roughness, I've either cut it back with a concave cutter and then used the blade to try and reduce it somewhat, and then we'll put the putty on and see what happens. I haven't done the whole tree. I've looked at this one, I've probably done about 4/5 of it. There's still a lot up here that I need to do, and further up, but I want to see how successful that is in just slowly reducing the visual scarring, or at least making it nice to look at. So, you know, I've also done a little bit of wiring to give that a spin. So that's some of the extra sort of healing work that I've been doing on some of these maples, and I'm sort of quietly hopeful, I mean, that it may actually work out. And again, this one also had some really ugly, really bad bruising up there, and when it's like that, it doesn't matter how great this is up here, if that is a real eyesore, then yeah. So that's quite a massive amount done there. Anyway, and this is one that I haven't done anything to. This one I tried something different. What I've done here is it's down here, and all I've done is scraped back a bit of concave cutter, and I just want to see what happens if I just heal it a la natural, au natural. A little bit of white. I mean, it's a shame, to be fair, because some of the shape in these, absolutely wonderful. But you know, I've got to try and find some way of reducing the visible ugliness, and so we'll see how that goes. So be interesting to see next year. We'll see how that works out when the putty comes off. What on earth did I just say that? I don't know. Anyway, so from Xavier on a really lovely Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday Arvo. I'm going to say God bless and cheers, and I'm going to be very, very fingers crossed. Yelly has not remembered to take summer cuttings of his Tridents, and so will not be in a position to gloat over me when they come out, as they invariably do with all his cuttings, brilliantly. Cheers.